Bundesliga has been cool. The weekend of La Liga was pretty interesting. But let's all be honest here. This is what we've been waiting for. Here's what you need to know about the Premier League's return. With the Bundesliga being the first league back in action, they had almost a month of being the only thing on TV for starved European soccer fans. However, from the first kickoff, it was clear it wasn't going to be the same as what fans had become accustomed to. So you might wonder, which of the changes could the Premier League implement as well? Of course, there won't be any fans, which creates empty stadiums. The Bundesliga played their first weekend without fan noise, which allowed fans to hear anything and everything coaches and players were saying. While it was interesting without real fans, it still seemed kinda dull when watching on TV. The Bundesliga then inserted pre-recorded fan noises into the broadcast, which made it a little more like normal. Now, the Premier League proceeded a little differently. They thought real fan noise was boring, so what else would you do other than insert noises from FIFA 20?
3 of the best, he's made them pay, and that completes a wonderful hat-trick.
Now, in terms of what will actually be happening on the pitch, the Premier League will implement a lot of the same rules Bundesliga and La Liga have. Teams will now be allowed to use up to 5 substitutions. However, to stop the likes of Jose Mourinho using all 5 substitutes in stoppage time at different times as a time waste, teams will only be able to sub in 3 substitution slots, as well as halftime. The benches will be in the stands, socially distanced, and hold a few more players to give teams enough options for those 5 subs. There will also most likely be masks in use. One thing that will be a little different from other leagues, instead of the players' names, the back of all jerseys will have Black Lives Matter on them. A great showing from the league to support the Black Lives Matter movement. As of right now, most games will be played at the stadium they would have originally been played in. However, it is possible that some high-profile games are played at neutral venues at the request of the police. This is with the goal of stopping large gatherings outside of the stadium. I mean, you would think closed-door games would be enough, but hey, it didn't stop this guy. How do you even... No, whatever. Injuries, and more injuries. Since the restart, the Bundesliga has seen loads of them. Injuries can be the make or break of a team's season, and it's definitely no different in England. For the likes of Liverpool or Man City, they have enough strength and depth that it shouldn't be too big a problem. However, lower down the table, some teams could really struggle. The one that stands out the most is Wolves. They've used the smallest number of players this season with only 20. Leicester and Burnley are close behind them, having both only used 21. With Leicester firmly in the Champions League race and Wolves challenging for European football, they could both be hurt the most. However, any team like them with a well-established starting 11 could struggle if the injuries start to pile up. Speaking of injuries, no one would want their top goal scorer injured, and the Golden Boot race is a tight one this year. But currently, Jamie Vardy is having a party with a 2-goal lead and 19 goals to his name. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is right behind him on 17, as Mohamed Salah and Sergio Aguero both have 16. On the other side of things, Kevin De Bruyne will look to break Thierry Henry's record of 20 assists in one season. Henry accomplished the feat in the 2002-2003 season with Arsenal, and with De Bruyne currently on 16 assists with 10 games left in his season, it almost seems a question of when rather than if. But if he somehow does slip up, Trent Alexander-Arnold is the closest to him with 12. The Premier League is known for close relegation battles, and this year is no different. While Norwich seemed to be done and dusted on a trip back to the Championship, they're only 6 points from safety. Anything is possible, and we've certainly seen crazier things happen. However, like most of the teams in the relegation battle, they haven't really shown abilities to be able to attack or defend at the Premier League level, so it's not very likely they stay up. Aston Villa look likely to follow in their footsteps, heading back to the Championship one season after promotion, and if that does happen, most likely losing Jack Grealish as well. After that, it could be the likes of Bournemouth, Watford, West Ham, or Brighton. Any of these teams could realistically be going down. On the other end of the table, plenty of teams are battling it out for European football. Obviously, Liverpool are a lock for Champions League next season, but while they're a definite, no one else really is. While Manchester City sit in second, they could still be banned from Champions League due to financial fair play, which would mean 5th place is a Champions League spot. This could pave the way for Wolves or Sheffield United to cap off truly remarkable seasons. Now, they'll have to beat Chelsea or Manchester United to it, but with both of them only 2 points behind 5th place United, it's definitely not out of the question. And of course, after 30 years of wait, all odds are that Liverpool will be crowned Premier League champions. For many, it's a matter of when, not if. However, they do still need to win 2 games, a total that would decrease if City were to lose any games. If City lose to Arsenal, Liverpool could win the Premier League at Goodison Park in a Merseyside derby. If not, their next game is at Anfield against Crystal Palace. Maybe a revenge game for the game dubbed Crystanbul in 2014. Either way, other than somehow losing their only game to relegation-threatened Ismaila Sarr and Troy Deeney-led Watford, Liverpool have been utterly dominant all season. The stoppage may have halted the momentum of a remarkable achievement for a club and fan base that have waited so long for this exact moment. Whether they lift a trophy in a stadium without fans or not, I do believe they'll probably celebrate with all of their fans when it becomes possible. The Premier League is back. Yeah, the players might look a little different. No fans is kind of weird, and it's not exactly what it was before, but it doesn't really matter, does it? It's back, and there's tons of it. With 92 games to be played before deadline of July 25th, make sure your couches are rejuvenated from any binge watching during quarantine, because if you're a Premier League fan, that couch is going to be your home for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going, all I know where I came, when the sun sets, I hope that you remember my name, I don't know where you at, I don't know where you stay, when I run this money up, everything is gonna be okay.